So such songs, among the first ones that now I realized I can actually complete a song and write down. But it's after I met Kiama. I think just the anointing, just the influence, just flowed. Yeah, it just came. And wow. And then after that, I just realized God was slowly calling me to something greater, because now I influence a lot of things in Daystar.
So when you were writing this, explain to me, when you're writing these songs, what would happen? Then you take them to Daystar and be like, okay, where would you perform them? Have you recorded them? What would happen?
Yeah, so we do them chapel. I mean, I was part of the worship team. We teach them, worship team, and say there's a song I wrote. That time we were excited. Then I met my best friend, Moniki, who came in as a student. He came as a bass player, so we just connected. Every time I play the piano, I play the bass.
Yeah.
Along the way, Reverend Tom Otieno joined us and found us. Then it became this threesome that just worked, and now we were the core thing. So we just write songs. We just decide tomorrow we go to a chaplain and say, "Can we do praise and worship tomorrow?" We don't preach. You just sing.
I get
the chaplain that time is Reverend Matthew Malo, senior pastor of AIC Milimani right now. He would tell us, you boys, do it, man. He empowered us.
That's so good.
And so it made it easier for us when now, I would say God laid in my heart. It looked like an idea to start a group called Sing Africa. Sing Africa
to start?
Yeah, 1996. So Sing Africa now was meant to be a chapel, a prayer meeting to pray for Africa. Now including...
Hold on, me, I'm still stuck at it. You're the one who started Sing Africa?
Yeah, yes, I
am. The
am.
Daystar movement that is...
Yes, it's the one that now...
That still exists till today.
Today, yes.
So now I get it when you say you are forming infrastructure as the pioneers.
Yes, yes. So we picked what Daystar was doing, and so it was easy for us to be molded to be people to speak into Africa. That's when, 1996, that's when everything came into place for me. That's when I knew I was born to speak into Africa through music. That's when it fitted.
You even called it Sing Africa?
Yeah, that's when everything fitted.
Okay, let's talk about Sing Africa. What happened?
So Sing Africa. So by that time, because of this influence, going to tell Reverend Moyo, we want to do praise and worship chapels, and I was like, yeah, do it. So I started now realizing that this is becoming serious in my spirit. So I started praying. This is now 95, praying for the next one. Prayed, Lord, give me ideas for the next chapel. Because we started doing praise and worship chapels. So elaborate ones that we would use the community. We used to have a lecturer who, an American lecturer who used to play the sitar. Sitar is an Indian traditional instrument. Used to play. And we even used to write worship songs based on the sitar.
Nice.
They would sing. So the community now began. Now we started doing these worship things. Pastor Jush now came, she used to play the flute and so on. So it became very musical at a different level. And now we were exposed to Ronk and Oli. Now we could see the videos, and you said you want to emulate something like that. Yeah. So 96, when that has stabilized, 96, I go to a chaplain and say, God has laid in my heart some songs that I've written for the African continent. Sudan that time was in crisis. There was some waging war, some rumors of war going on in West Africa, and of course the genocide had happened, and we're fresh from it. And in Daystar we used to have this thing called having cultural partners, where you have a partner friend from another culture, from another country, who you work and do assignments with. So I learned a lot about Rwanda from him. By the time all that information is getting to my spirit, I was like, no, we have to pray for Africa. I have the privilege of being in a space where there are 20 plus countries from Africa, including
an AU of sorts.
Including Madagascar. It's an AU of sorts. Yeah. And we are believers in a peaceful nation. Let's pray for this continent. So I went to the chaplain, Reverend Mwalo, and told him, let's do an African focused chapel. And that time when the chapel location was moving from, the Daystar was still being built. Now we moved from an indoor, and now we are on the open square.
Outside there. Is it still where it is there? Oh, that's later.
That's later. The PAC, the main admin block. We used to meet somewhere else. We used to meet the dining hall actually. Then we went now to the open space, and I had this picture of what we had all the flags together and we pray, and we called that chapel Sing Africa.
What?
That chapel did not happen. It did not happen because, as I said earlier, that God defines things and and makes things clearer over time. In between there's some 2 concerts I was involved in. With Nzuki, with Kina Kabuda. In between there, as we were saying, and we kept saying, you know, Sing Africa is coming, Sing Africa is coming. Along the way, it became clear that Sing Africa was becoming a group and not a chapel event, not an event, chapel event. Became a group. That now instead of doing this thing, people from a few countries, we had the Congolese there, we had the Angolan there, we had people came together and formed a choir of 60 and a few dancers, and now we did our first concert out of Daystar. We became now a group. Do you know who our first choir director was? Sarah Oyungu, Karo Atemi's sister.
And Sarah Oyungu is a big deal.
Yes.
I've interviewed Atemi for me to understand how big Sarah.
Yes, Sarah was our first choir director. Serious stuff. You sit down quietly, there's no nonsense. This is your peer in campus, but just you keep quiet, we're learning this song. Got a choir of 40. Half the songs I've written them.
What?
Half of them, and then Kiama has given us a song. Kiama, meanwhile, is not even in Daystar. He's just out there, met him here at Nairobi Chapel doing this project.
And he's in Nairobi University, him
is Nairobi University, and he's done this recording in Nairobi. I mean, goodness, he's done Niwewe too. Then,
recorded by Jack Odongo.
By Jack Odongo on an 8-track. I know the story. Park University, that time it was Park College, Panafrican Christian College, tells him to write a song, tells Kiama to write a song for their graduation. Kiama is somebody who should actually interview in this.
You have no idea. I was with him 3 days ago.
Right. So for something, not graduation, some celebration of Park College and so on. And the focus and the theme is to bless Africa. And he writes, Imbeni Africa. So he tells us, man, I like your vision, man. You guys, your group Sing Africa. In fact, there's a song I wrote for Park a long time ago. He sings it. I'm like, I like that song. He said, yeah, sing. You like it? It's nice. It's nice. Sarah teaches the choir. That has been the anthem for Sing Africa up to today. 23 years later. 23. The current group in Daystar, the current Sing Africa group, were not born when us guys started. The current one in 2019, we know them. I know them. I know their leader, Jonathan. They were not born. But they sing that song in Venice. So that kindred, there's something that God just did for us at that time to speak life into Africa. So everything I'd gone through, seeing pastors put speakers, do crusades with Kina Esther Ohome, go through understanding some doctrinal differences between churches, understand the importance of unity of churches. By the time I was getting to this and being exposed to this, I knew you cannot speak life if you've not seen the differences. And what Sing Africa did at that time, it united the community in Daystar, because now we had
different people from all across Africa,
socio-economic, haves and have-nots, exactly. All of us together.
And can I also say, personally, I know like at least 30 musicians who have been product of Sing Africa. Neema Ntalel, Valerie Kimani,
Zidi the band, Mwanga right now.
Mwanga, Chikwaza, Manasseh. Like, if even you can say Mwendi through affiliation, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
That the birth, the amount of talent that has gone through Sing Africa is insane.
It's unbelievable. Sometimes I think I wish, I look back.
That's why I'm looking at you right now and I'm like, hold on, you are the one who started this thing, Africa thing.
It was me. And by that, 96 was a special year because that's the first time I ever preached open air. And not in Kenya. Yes, in Uganda.
Does this mean that this is the first time you also left the borders?
Yeah, it was the first time. I left the borders, went to Uganda, and not anywhere anybody would think about. Not Kampala, not Jinja, not Mbara. It was not Entebbe. It was a place called Soroti. That town in Soroti, it's a Teso land. So at the end of that town, from there, in the war of the 70s and Idi Amin's time, the history of Uganda, I was shown the spot after the town. Up that way, it was very unsafe. So the town was still reeling from those effects 25 years later of what had happened at that time. And here comes some young guys, I think I was even 19, almost 20, and you go and preach. And there's so many drunk people, we had a lot of witchcraft, malenos that were going on. But then I came back and thought to myself, God, you've allowed me to go and speak your word, and not even here, not even in this country, but outside of Kenya. The next time we go to Uganda, I sing Africa Now, 1 year later in Kampala. We were invited for an event that has young people. We didn't know what it was all about. We just told us this event happening. Guess who's there? The president himself of Uganda and his wife, the first lady. And who's leading worship? Tom Otieno. Who's playing the piano? Kaberia. It's skinny guys. Who's playing the bass? Maneki. Just looking at each other like, is that Museveni right there? Is that President Museveni right there in front of us? And all the young people are just singing. 97. We were just exploding with life. Same time, we are among the very few people who had come from another country and another place and a big group to be allowed to minister at Kampala Pentecostal Church, all the 4 services.
Whoa.
Kampala Pentecostal Church is now known as Watoto Church. One of the most sophisticated churches, and that time it was.
Yeah.
And for you to give
and even Power FM, which is a huge station,
we saw Power FM start.
What?
Then we were there.
When it was
the sound booth of Watoto Church is where Sharp used to be in Power FM.
No way.
You enter, no, we're on air. Right there at the sound booth. I mean, good memories. But that was the beginnings.
That is huge.
That was, and you know what I can say? And this is not in any braggadocious way. We're not here to brag. But a lot of things in my life just exploded at that season.
96 now.
And between 96 and 98, by the time I was living in Daystar, but mainly 96. And it's not
I've even forgotten you're a student at this time.
Yes. Yes, because I joined in 94. God performed a miracle for me to work and give me work that took care of me. By the time I'm 96, my fees are now manageable. Things have eased in my life, and then in my mind, and here comes this thing that starts. And I can't tell you how God connected me to people like Sarah Yungu. We never even used to talk in campus before that. Tina, Nzuki, we never used to talk much, but we just connected. And that became now a story that we love to tell about Sing Africa. Because it is because of Sing Africa that Afleo became. Because the same people, I met my wife in Sing Africa. We are the same group that started Afleo. We're the same guys. So the story of Afleo that people know from 2003 or 2004, our story is from 96.
I get. It's just that now you've left campus.
Yes, we've left campus. And the reason why we started Afleo is because we knew we were called to Africa. We were not worried. We just knew. And friends who were influenced, who were around me, just knew there's something bigger coming. There's something. God allowed, he stayed quiet for a while so that then I could start learning matters of worship leading now, which I learned through being in ICC. So I joined the worship team after Daystar.
So you Sing Africa, love that season.
Yeah.
An explosion that you even leave that is still there.
Yes.
First and foremost, I need to commend you.
Yeah.
Like for real, I'm mind blown that you're the one who started Sing Africa. A lot of people start things and they die.
Yes.
You're talking 23 years later.
Yeah.
A generation that was not born.
Yes.
Like stop to just, here's where we add applause.
Yeah.
As you don't want to clap for yourself. I'll clap for you.
Yeah.
So that's one. So now you leave. At this time, have you recorded anything?
No, not until 99.
Okay, good. So now you leave Daystar. Go on.
I leave Daystar.